will stakeholders be able to get those paying audiences back into sporting venues? Pamela Ariel finds out. When the pandemic hit, the world of sports took a timeout. Sports facilities shut down during the circuit breaker from April to June. 1 year on, Singapore is in phase 3 of its reopening. Some mass sporting activities resumed with new safety protocols in place.
So we look at the numbers that go into the event, we look at the cohorts, which is the amount of people that can be grouped together, we look at the facilities they'll use, things like washrooms, toilets is very important, and then we'll look at the entrances as they come through, the timing.
Up to 250 participants are now allowed mass sports events. From April 24th, up to 750 fans will be allowed into events if there's prior testing.
So pre-COVID, the number one revenue generator was really mass participation for a lot of the national sports associations, and particularly for the private sector. Being able to host those large events with 3,000, 10,000, 20,000 participants present is really their largest source of income. In many cases, that can be the single largest source of income for the entire financial year that has just disappeared.
But the sports sector wasn't just hit by the loss of audience numbers and revenue. Around the world, athletes have been grounded by COVID-19 border restrictions.
We're not quite at the stage yet where we can bring over some of the fantastic events we've had in the past, such as Manchester United playing here, or Scotland playing rugby here, or Juventus or other Italian football team. So really that's the next stage for us.
A key part of that next stage will be managing the inflow of sports talent from overseas. First to enter the ring, the One Championship event at the Singapore Indoor Stadium.
What happens is athletes, before they travel, 24 hours before they travel, they get tested. When they land, they get tested again. And then during their whole stay, they get tested. But in that whole stay, they're in a bubble. So the minute they get in Changi Airport, they get escorted into a hotel in which it's a bubble and no one's allowed to leave. And that bubble is also connected to Singapore Indoor Stadium. So there's a direct transportation between the stadium. But again, then after the events happen, then they get tested again. As long as those tests are cleared, then they're shipped off back home.
The Football Association of Singapore is also looking to bring in foreign players using a bubble system for the AFC Cup in June. It's also looking forward to local players being able to take part in international events again.
That's always been our challenge, especially for the international teams. Our Lions, our women's national team, we have continental or regional competitions that our clubs play, which typically need them to travel and stuff. And obviously right now it is a bit of a challenge, especially this year, which is a huge year for both our men's and women's team. We have the SEA Games as well.
Though travel remains restricted, there are no conventional geographical borders online. So like many other business sectors, the sports industry pivoted online, accelerating a trend that had already started before the coronavirus.
For One Champion's strategy is we're a content producer. That's the biggest driver. So broadcasters around the world paying One Champion for its content, and that has not changed at all. And for 2020, actually, our TV viewership numbers were up almost 50% as compared to 2019, despite the fact that we're down for 3 months. And on top of it, our social and digital online metrics, viewership numbers, were actually up 300% for 2020 as compared to 2019. Again, only 9 months of actual live events.
But some industry experts warn that the new digital normal could affect conventional revenue models.
So as we've moved more and more digital, what we are seeing is that people are expecting the content for free for the most part. And so this will present a more challenging model in the long term. Most people do want to still physically attend an event, but will they expect that after getting it for free digitally before, that they will have to pay for it afterwards? And in the longer term, the challenge will be convincing people to continue to pay relatively high rates for tickets.
Stakeholders hope that the effort they put in during the shutdown to continue engaging their customers will pay off when action kicks off again.
Well, you become a fan by watching it on TV or social digital. Then you buy the tickets. So the most important thing
Despite offering all matches online for free, the Football Association of Singapore is confident that their fans will purchase tickets to a live match.
We do not foresee that because we are so much more, so much embracing of the new norms now on digital, that we will see a lack of numbers live. We have to get the fans back onto the street. It will obviously be in a different form, perhaps with social distancing. Perhaps they wouldn't be able to cheer too loudly. But at the end of the day, football games, when it's played with fans, it brings about a new dimension and experience, not just for the fans, but also for the players themselves.
Because Singapore is chosen as a choice by destination because it brings in other visitors regionally. People know they can host here within the sports hub or within Singapore. People will fly and come and join. So for us, it's really important that we get back to those high numbers.
Opening the sports sector to live events and making it pay. Why a massive maritime traffic jam will hit consumers' wallets, and how SPACs will change the investor landscape in Singapore. This has been Money Mind.
Stories in Asia.
A quicker, portable way of testing for COVID-19 in just 5 minutes.
Breaking news in the US and Europe.
US President-elect Joe Biden is set to formally introduce his top economic team.
With eye on markets opening across the world.
Wall Street's major indices all closed the month with double-digit percentage gains.
It's the one bulletin that offers you a global perspective. World Tonight, daily on CMA.
Taiwan, I have witnessed how it has evolved into a beacon of democracy in Asia and a bastion of Chinese culture and tradition.
Victoria Jan, CNA, Taipei.
Look forward to brighter skies. The weather, sponsored by Qatar Airways. Sponsored by Qatar Airways. Is Asia Now.
Good morning. It's just after 8 a.m. here in Singapore, and in Hong Kong it's 5:30 in the morning in New Delhi and 7 a.m. in Jakarta. I'm Christine Chan. Warnings have been issued in Indonesia of flooding and landslides after an earthquake there erupts, killing at least 7 people. And study indicates the Pfizer-BioNTech COVID-19 vaccine may be less effective against the South African variant of the coronavirus. It is locked down in Iran to prevent a 4th wave of COVID-19 infections from spreading across the country. Authorities Authorities in Indonesia have warned of potential landslides and floods. A magnitude 6 earthquake struck off the main island of Java yesterday, killing at least 7 people. The country's disaster mitigation agency says there are at least 2 people severely wounded, but there are 10 others that sustained minor injuries. The local weather bureau says an earthquake of such magnitude is capable of making slopes or their rocks fragile, and the rainfall might trigger landslides and flash floods in the earthquake-hit areas. This struck southwest of Malang City in East Java yesterday afternoon at a depth of 82 kilometers. There were aftershocks, but no tsunami warning was issued. The local television networks show people running in panic from the shopping malls and in buildings in several cities in the province. But the National Disaster Agency says that the authorities are still taking stock today of the damage occurred. At least 300 homes and dozens of other buildings were damaged, and they include schools, hospitals, government offices, and places of worship. The tremors lasted for about 37 seconds, and they were felt in nearby provinces like the resort island of